like the Cuomos, he also comes from a political family, also comes from Queens. So I just want to ask you about your family's connections with the Cuomos. Obviously, there was a funeral today for Mario Cuomo, and we're thinking back on his life and stories about him.
Yes, I was at the wake last night, in which people waited for hours, thousands and thousands of people to see the family, and I was, of course, at the funeral today and listened to the governor deliver an unbelievable eulogy. Obviously, it was very personal, but it was very comprehensive, kind of summarizing the life and times of Mario Cuomo. And I grew up with the Cuomo family. We lived very close to them in Holliswood. We were actually in Jamaica Estates, but just less than a mile from Holliswood. But and my father was Mario's assemblyman. My father was Mario's Democratic district leader, and actually got Governor Mario Cuomo involved in politics very early on. I remember my father always saying to us at an early age, because he knew Mario as a young lawyer, and my father was a little bit more established lawyer in Queens, involved in local politics. He said to us as kids that Mario Cuomo, this young lawyer, Mario Cuomo, is going to be the first Italian-American president. Watch my words. And that was before he had run.
Almost correct.
Yeah, almost correct. But he recognized in Mario Cuomo an intellect, an ability to communicate, which he hadn't seen in anybody else in the civic, legal, or political world. And my father was a pretty good, political pundit, and basically analyzed political situations very well. My father went on to be very involved in all of Mario Cuomo's campaign. He actually urged him to run for mayor in 1973, something most people don't know about. And he was actually very much involved in that campaign until Mattie Troy, who was the Queens Democratic leader at the time, decided to endorse Mario Biaggi, who was also running, and it was difficult to have two Marios in the race at that time. So Mario Cuomo withdrew in 1973. But then he ran for lieutenant governor in 1974. We were very involved in that campaign. He lost that campaign to Marianne Krupczak. And then we were all involved, our entire family, in 1977 when he ran for mayor.
How old were you then?
How old
were you at that time?
I was 21. And I was between college and law school, and I worked full-time in that campaign in 1977. My mother was the Queens coordinator for the campaign, and every family conversation we had involved that campaign. I remember going to Mario's house very often, the Cuomo house on Pompey Avenue. I live only about 2 or 3 blocks from there now, and I represent that area in the Assembly as my father and brother did. So we've had a Weprin in that seat, since 1971, continuously representing that area. And, I got to spend a lot of time with Mario. I'd come early on Sunday morning and to spend the day if we were going to campaign. And Mario and Andrew were playing basketball in the driveway, which they often did. And Matilda would insist I come in and like a good Italian mother or Jewish mother. My mother was a Jewish mother. She insisted I have a full breakfast before going out on the campaign trail. But I really got to, know the family very well during that campaign because all 5 kids were very involved in that campaign. I remember Christopher running all over the place. He was 7 at the time, and he was kind of terrorizing everybody during that campaign. But I have memories in that. And we were all involved in 1982, the winning campaign against Ed Koch, my whole family. And I was lucky enough to go into the Cuomo administration during his first term. Very exciting time for a young lawyer. I became deputy superintendent of banking at the age of 27, something that was an opportunity I never would have had, and went on to a Wall Street career after that. But I have very fond memories of starting the new administration in 1983. A lot of young people. I saw Jerry Crotty last night and this morning, and he reminded me that he was counsel to the governor at the age of 27, and became chief of staff at 31. I think all of Mario Cuomo's inner circle, starting with our current governor, Andrew Cuomo, who is his special advisor, were all very young, very excited, and he brought a certain excitement to that administration that I don't think you've seen in a long time.
And at that time, well, the Cuomos, like the Weprins, multiple generations in elected office. At that time, when you were helping out those first Mario Cuomo campaigns, was there any thought that maybe Andrew Cuomo would one day run for governor himself?
Well, look, Andrew was so involved. I mean, Andrew is probably the most qualified person to ever run for governor in New York State because he had been there for 12 years. I mean, he was involved in so many aspects of campaigns. He was his campaign manager, he was his special advisor. He served in Washington as HUD secretary, but he knew Albany inside out. He went to law school here. He knew the workings day to day of government, and as Mario said on many occasions, he learned from Mario's mistakes. He had, nobody's perfect, although Mario Cuomo, in my opinion, is one of the, greatest leaders we've had in New York State, as well as nationally. I don't think there's anyone that has his intellect, his ability to communicate, and his ability to relate to every man on their own level. When he talks to you, it's very similar to Bill Clinton, having that special talent of being able to make you feel like you are the most important person in that room and that he cares about everything you're saying. And it's a unique talent and something that Mario Cuomo possesses. Andrew has a lot of it, but he's still, not quite there yet.
Great. Assemblyman Weprin, thanks for joining us. Thanks so much for sharing.